So you just moderated a fantastic session on impact investment with His Highness Prince Khaled bin Alwaleed bin Talal Al Saud. So what did you learn from this session?
So it was quite interesting. We talked about both the real challenges now facing sustainable investing, but also some of the exciting opportunities. In some ways, it's the best of times, it's the worst of times. High inflation, challenging global environment, supply chain challenges, geopolitics. But at the same time, we see an enormous appetite for clean energy investing, a need for it to deal with climate change, which we're here to talk about at COP28. But also, we emphasized some of the opportunity for venture capital investing, some of the technology and innovation opportunities in new kinds of food, or whether it's clean energy, whether it's really thinking about the growth mindset. And so he was very good at giving a sense of how to think about opportunities in a complicated world.
Yeah, absolutely. And he gave very good examples. So since we are in Abu Dhabi right now, what do you think is the potential of Abu Dhabi and more broadly the Middle East in paving the way for impact investments?
So this is a point actually that Prince Khaled made on stage, and that is, this is a part of the world that has benefited tremendously from fossil fuel resources, and both the sovereign wealth funds, but also the great companies of this part of the world. Will they use those resources to fund sustainability for the future? That's an open question, but he was advocating that they should. He has personally been doing that, and I would certainly argue that that would give a certain much needed capital for the kind of transformation we need in the energy system. We're going to need several $1 trillion a year to go into clean energy, sustainability, climate resilience, and the flows of money are very small compared to the trillions that we need. Well, we have enormous trillions that are going into the traditional energy sector. And so this is an opportunity to find a new life or a kind of a hedge to think about the future. It also gives a certain kind of social license to operate. If you're investing in the future, building the new, you're more likely to have acceptance of the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And it reminds me of one of the questions you had to His Highness about, are we doing enough? Do you think we are doing enough right now?
No, of course not. We're not doing anywhere nearly enough. 20 years ago this year, I wrote a book called Power to the People, in which I argued that the climate change challenge and sustainability challenge mean we have to fundamentally transform our energy system, our industries, to be decentralized, digitized, democratized. We wasted 20 years. We didn't do very much. We're still fundamentally in the old-fashioned energy system of 100 years ago, of 50 years ago. But change is coming. And what we find is that when sometimes the way that exponential change happens, it starts slowly, we don't notice it happening, and we can soon reach a tipping point, after which is a point of no return. And so the hope is that we get that flywheel effect going. We're not there yet, but that's part of what events like COP28 and the kinds of venture investment and the long-term investments are about, is they invest and you don't know what's going to work, but you need to try enough to know that some of them will work.
And talking about COP28, it starts today.
Yes.
So how do you think we can bring those discussions that we are having today at the Abu Dhabi Finance Week to the COP?
Well, I'll be literally going there myself, but I think so will almost everyone here who's been a speaker. I see many international speakers and distinguished local speakers who are planning to go and continue the conversations and provocations about how to start climate finance, how to fix climate finance. It's one of the 2 or 3 important topics. There are many topics at this COP, but one of the very important ones is climate finance. And it shouldn't be just a tired old question of how will $100 billion of money come from rich countries for poor countries. That's what every COP that I've been to, and I've been to many, talks about. That's important, but we need to talk about how do we unlock trillions of dollars of private sector finance to flow, particularly to developing countries, where the need is greatest and the opportunity is greatest. And there are some obstacles in the way that we need to solve, and that's part of what the conversations will be at COP.
And what will you do at COP28 with the Economist impact?
So the Economist we have a team covering this for the magazine. I'm an editor at the magazine covering climate and energy. So I'll be writing about what's happening, but also I'll be moderating some events and asking some tough questions of people to see, let's make sure there's no greenwashing. Let's make sure we have real conversations about a difficult, challenging topic.
Absolutely. And I'll see you there very soon.
I look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.